All right. Adrex turns around and says, "An orc, let us know where he is. We will go find him."
He smiles. He says, "You've made a considerably wise decision."
Adrex gives a thumbs up.
He unleashes. That's a great word. We got to figure out what that word means so I can use it in the future. No, he unleashes a small bag from his belt where he has several knives slotted. He jangles it in his hand. He throws it out so it lands at Adric's feet. He says, "Some silver as a sign of trust." And he swings back up on the back of his wyvern. He tells you that the river you've been following, this north one here, avoid the orc camp where the tributary meets it. Do a wide circle around so that the camp scouts can't see you. Follow the tributary towards the hills.
Okay.
And that will lead you to the Shadow Man's hideout. He uses a word in Orcish which translates to Hangman.
In what context? Of the shadow?
Referring to this murderer he wants you to kill.
This murder boy.
Got it. Okay.
He says, follow the tributary into the foothills. Meet him there at first light.
All right. Adrex picks up the silver.
Then he blows a kiss to Windy as his wyvern raises off the ground and he takes to the air.
I'll wave to him with my nice shiny orc longsword.
I mean, that was Malusha's. He doesn't care about that.
Raazu steps back and does what she can for Windy's wounds. Go ahead and take 10 hit points.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, that happened.
Yeah, it certainly did.
So we're totally killing that guy, right?
You saw the wyvern he has, right? The wyvern, the big flying thing.
Right, we'll probably have to kill that
shouting,
too.
Chopping.
Yeah.
Okay. If you've got a plan for
stuff.
Oh boy.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm letting you know. In case any of you weren't aware. That'll kill you.
Make a intelligence poisoner's kit check to see if you know just how potent this poison is if it gets hold of you.
I mean, if he wants some advantage, I've got some that he can check.
About 20.
Yeah, that's like a 26.
Got some of that poison you can look at.
You've seen firsthand during your training what wyvern poison can do. You are astonished that Windy is alive right now. In game turns, that stinger, if you fail that saving throw, is 7d6 poison damage.
Yeah.
Wyverns are dumb. Dumb wyverns.
Still, the fact of the matter is, those stingers aren't any joke.
Okay. So, yeah. He said follow the river, avoid the scouting camp, give him a wide berth, follow along the when it's supposed to tributary, follow along the tributary. Will meet us there. Sun up. Yeah. Shall we get walking?
Yeah, with burning nightlight.
I mean, there's just torches littering the area at this point.
Raazu retrieves the manacles from the corpse and then just heads on.
I feel like at this point it's a miracle we haven't set the on fire.
I feel like it's probably very difficult to set a forest on fire with a discarded torch.
I mean, if anybody could find a way.
I feel like we could set that forest on fire.
Now, I think we should try and get there before the Wyvern Rider guy shows up.
Probably
So that
that's
maybe we
not going to happen because he's so much faster than you. He's riding a wyvern. I'm not sure if you caught that part. What you might be able to do, though, is scout ahead of where he wants to meet you and see if you can find the hideout yourself without his assistance.
Yeah. See if we can't make contact with Hangman first before Mr. Murder Hobo Wyvern Rider guy decides to go in and start swinging the axe.
I doubt he's a hobo.
Yeah.
He's an orc. Or half orc. They're all hobo.
So, what I'm understanding is there are exactly 5 monster races that it's okay to not be racist against, and it's the 5 that comprise the party. Everyone else is fair game.
I thought that was my understanding of the campaign.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So what's the plan? You give the camp a wide berth.
And to be honest, we're pretty racist against kobolds.
You see
I'm
the smoke.
super racist against Yuan-ti.
You see the smoke from the camp at the part where the 2 streams meet up. You give it a wide berth. I mean, Birdie manages to spot the scouts, stay out of their eye lines, circle onto this tributary, and it does start to snake upwards into some foothills. At this point, you've got maybe an hour or 2 before sunup, so the choice from here is continue forward and meet up with the half-orc, or try to sneak past him and locate the Hangman before meeting up with him.
So,
I'm so bad at sneaking.
I think. Now, hear me out, because this is generally a bad idea, but I think we should split the party. I think that Red and I should try to sneak forward and speak with the Hangman, while the rest of you kind of just...
Why are you in red?
Because he can... because he can stealth.
I can stealth.
You think it's a good idea to poke things?
Alright, you're a kobold.
That was definitely racist.
Wow.
I'm just saying, I have seen this man set a trap inside of a sleeping bag, and I'm pretty sure it was his.
He just sleeps on a giant mousetrap every night.
Roll d20 for that sick burn. Okay, so...
what does Red think of that idea?
I don't like it, but it might be the best option.
What are we accomplishing from this? Like, what do we get from this method?
Make a wisdom check, Wendy.
Yeah. Because we can't show up at the meeting at that point, because he's going to be like, hey, where's your friends? And we're going to be like, well, you know.
Well, they would have time to
Kobolds.
try to scout ahead and then get back to your position.
16.
You've got a couple of hours. Seeing what the Hangman is capable of doing to groups of orcs,
Yeah.
if you just roll up with this half-orc and his wyvern on his side in the fight, he'll probably show you no quarter. If you manage to contact him before then, there's a chance that you can turn the tables on this half-orc, if that's what you want to do.
And I'm pretty sure we want to turn the tables on this half-orc.
The part that I was missing was I wasn't aware the plan was they would get all the way there and all the way back in time.
Yeah, you guys have a couple hours before sunup.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize this guy was this close. Yeah, I think this is a great plan.
Okay.
Then yeah,
Like-
that's fine.
Wendy can come too. That's not what I'm saying. I wasn't saying you weren't invited.
I mean, everyone who's there has to make another stealth roll. What do I provide?
Everybody who's going to try to get past the Wyvern Rider is going to need to make a stealth check. You can make this at advantage because you've still got dim light.
So we're doing this?
Who all is going?
I got flips, and we're doing it at advantage.
I mean, I'll go. Worst case scenario, Red, I feel like, can survive in the woods on his own, and I can pick up Birdie and fly with him. He's like 23 pounds.
I can also pick up Birdie, for what it's worth.
He's 23 pounds, but he carries 4 times his body weight in trap materials.
That's true. He'd have to leave the traps behind.
I guess the more pertinent question is who's staying behind? Anyone? Or are we all going to try to stealth our way here?
Raazu is in no kind of state to stealth.
the stealth.
Yeah. Like, I would be giving you a +0, and even if we're rolling an advantage, that's still +0.
You guys hash it out. I'm gonna run and hit the head. When I come back in 2 minutes, we'll decide.
And I will stay with Raazu then.
I think the
So-
fewest number of us possible should go.
Yeah.
And Birdie doesn't even have to go.
Yeah, honestly, like, everyone who has to go, that's another stealth roll. That's out of character mechanics, but in character, it's just like everyone everyone has another chance to fuck up.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I think we should send a minimum amount of people.
Mhm.
So,
So then,
what
just me.
languages does Red know?
Common, Abyssal, Draconic, Elven, Giant, and a free language I haven't chosen yet.
Yeah, let's send red.
So
Guys learned like 16 languages.
the only language I can bring to that is Undercommon.
I got Orc.
Which he very likely speaks, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy seems to
guess-
speak Orc, but with a very different dialect, mostly involving hanging.
Yeah. If I start speaking Orc, he might get the wrong.
Plus, he also killed those kobolds. Maybe he also speaks Draconic.
Plus, I'm going to take a nice short rest while you guys are having that
Yeah, I'm
walk.
completely unhurt, by the way, still. So,
Oh, short
Yeah.
rest is a good idea.
I was doing great until suddenly it was Wyvern time.
It was Wyvern time. What did you guys decide?
seems like Red's going on his own.
Red's going
Red's
on
off on a solo sneaking mission.
Red. How about a stealth
On-site
check?
procurement.
At advantage.
Oh, you just boned. Ah, there you go.
How'd we do?
So that'll come out to being a 22.
22. Okay. So Red sneaks away from the group. So is the rest of the group doing anything before Red returns?
Yeah, I'm taking a bounteous short rest.
Hold off
Was
on
it-
that.
My intention is to take a bounteous short rest.
We'll see about that.
Intentions are nice.
Going to depend on what happens with Red here in the next few.
I will go ahead and expend those the other 10 points I have for you as well. So take another 10.
Now, I don't want you to get too excited, Red. This is not actually the lower level of a bandit lair. It's just this cool-ass little cave that I found. Yeah, it's good stuff. Now,
I love the colon.
here, I'm moving everybody over there for now. As you follow this
Red was in
tributary
there somewhere, I think.
into the hills, the first thing you do, making no attempt to hide himself, you spot the Wyvern Rider. He has built a small fire, and he looks to be roasting something on a stick over it. So you give him a wide berth, and you find a couple more of these little tributaries coming out of the mountains. And what you see about 50 or 60 feet away from this entrance to this little cave is what looks like two glassy eyes perched just somewhere in the shadows on this rock wall. Let me spawn in the Hangman and all his friends. Give me a second. I don't get any
30
reaction
kobolds.
when I do that anymore. It's not even...
No, it's not fun anymore.
Damn
No.
it. Okay. See, you see these two glassy eyes. That's the first thing you notice. And that's your indication that there's something in this particular... what looks like a little cave mouth that this water is trickling out of. These are 5-foot squares, so we're talking about just barely a trickle on this stream.
Okay. Red will fish into his pack, pull out the hood from his lantern, which happens to be white,
Okay.
and tie it to the end of his bow as a flag, and make no attempt to sneak into the cave, as long as it's outside of the sight of the Wyvern Rider.
Okay. And as you approach the entrance, the two glassy eyes are right at the entrance. When you're about 15 or 20 feet away, you hear it
Okay.
scamper, like something hit the ground and then scamper into the cave. You just see the movement of shadows.
Okay.
So you go in with
And yeah.
your flag high,
Yep.
and as soon as you get in, I mean, you see a lantern burning. Oh, it's right here. On a small table. The acoustics in the cave are mostly drowned out by the sound of this water tumbling over this pile of rocks in the back. Somewhere up in the mountains is the source of this little tiny stream. And you hear a bowstring go taut. And you hear a voice You don't understand what it says, but you identify the language. You come from jungly kind of areas. You identify the language as Tabashi. But you do hear the bowstring.
Let me think here for a second. I guess I'll call out in Draconic. I mean no harm.
And in response to Draconic, an arrow hits the ground ahead of you. You hear the bowstring draw taut again.
Sylvan. I'm not going to move any farther forward. I would like to speak.
Where did Red learn Sylvan? How did he come across it?
Red had to involve himself with several groups of Fae as part of his training. He did a lot of work outside of the Yuan-ti. What's the word? Colony? I don't know what they would call their civilization. So I don't know the specific dialect, actually.
Okay.
If that's what you're asking.
No, I'm just curious about the background. The voice responds in Sylvan. And he says, from where he's perched, he can see your beating heart. What's next?
I'm looking for someone that apparently has a beef with some number of orcs and/or kobolds. Might that be you?
Another arrow hits the ground in front of you. You hear the bowstring once more. But he does not reply in either way.
You'd have to believe me that I'm no friend of either group. Surely you're aware of the large wyvern and its master outside of your cave?
Make a persuasion check.
Nah, sure.
Let's go ahead and flip that. 15.
He tells you that wyverns can't fight in confined spaces. And in his experience, neither can snakes. But he does not loose another arrow at you.
Well, that individual offered me and some of my friends the opportunity to come here, kill you, and split the spoils. I don't necessarily think that's our best offer, and I'm not in any particular mood to make that alliance. At least not without knowing who you are.
He asks you... First you hear him say something in his native Tabashi tongue. And then he asks you... The camp with the Mokden prisoners. Was that you?
Yes.
Shoddy work. And to place the blame at my feet, I take you for a coward.
More of an opportunist.
You guys did a really bad job of dressing up that camp. He tells you that if you enter his cave with the wyvern or its rider, that you will all die together. But since you have shown some skill in ridding the land of orcs, that he's not inclined to fire upon you first.
What if we were to enter the cave and then Once the wyvern advances on you, shoot the rider.
The voice responds that he marks you as 6. Is that correct?
Including the half orc?
Keeping in mind, this time yesterday you were traveling with River Leaper.
Yeah. 5, actually.
He asks what your interest is in his affairs.
Well, we're involved in multiple tangled attempts to try and bring this region under a slightly more equitable balance of power. It'd be nice to have fewer orc tribes and slavers running around. Part of that is the Moakton, part of that is the lizard folk, part of that might be you.
He asks you to step into the light, closer to the lantern.
I think that's about the edge of the range of the lantern.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'll put my bow away as I do that.
Okay. He says, tell the Wyvern Rider that you scouted ahead and found this cave empty. Tell him you have an idea to lay in wait here, in ambush for my return.
Can you leave the cave and make obvious tracks as you do so? And then sneak back in?
He scoffs. Says if he were to make obvious tracks, nobody could call him a Tabashi.
Red internally rolls his eyes and says, then making tracks as if you were intending not to.
He says, go quickly, before the sun comes up.
I'll nod and make my way back.
Okay. Go ahead and take guys back at camp. Take the benefit of the short rest.
You catch up with Raazu giving Wendy a healing massage.
Short rest.
Blessed by the gods.
Skilled in acupuncture and reflexology.
Am I rolling
God.
a d20? I don't think I have d20 hit points.
Reflexology. I just made myself sick a little bit. So, Red, you make your way. Go ahead and make one more stealth check to get back past the rider one more time.
Still at advantage?
Yeah, unless you're taking too long.
That'd be a 25. Yes, 25.
And Red sneaks back after his chilly encounter with the Hangman. And what's the haps?
I pretty much report everything as it happened to the group.
Okay.
Now I have a question for all of you.
Okay.
If we were to train the Moakton in combat, if we were to construct a palisade, do you think they would take fewer than one casualty per year defending themselves from the orcs?
Probably. It would also probably lead to more Moakton surviving so that they would have a greater number of Moakton inside the village.
Yes, that was my thought as well. I came to the conclusion that they might lose more than one a year, but even having, say, 4 or 5 survive to the age that they could have children, and not having to have members of their society leave the village because they don't agree with the way of life, would more than counteract the effect. I just wanted to make sure we all were in agreement with that.
How's that sound to everybody else?
That's fantastic.
Birdie doesn't really care one way or the other.
Birdie
thinks that if they have palisades, that means that they can trap the palisades.
Well, like Birdie views it as like they're just sacrificing the weakest like members of their tribe to ensure the safety of everything. He doesn't care. He thinks it's fine.
And if you voice that, Red will agree. I have no personal opinion about the sacrifice. I think if that were the most secure way to keep their society safe, it would be acceptable. However, it is not. They're taking shortcuts and not acting in a way that's actually logical when you look at all the possible conclusions. They're just taking the easy way out. They remind me much of my own people.
Also, I mean, they're trusting a Fae, which can work for 200 years, and the 201st year you all turn into turnips.
That actually is my biggest concern, is exactly what this will do with their relationship to the local god. I can't begin to comprehend the motives of Fae, though. I've tried in the past, and it is not worth the effort.
Also, they could trap the Palisades.
I don't want them to kill children anymore, but I also don't want them to die needlessly.
Sacrifice is weird and confusing.
Yeah.
And what's your decision about how to handle Dragon Friend and his orc companion?
I think this plan sounds great.
Yeah, I think this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Reserving my post in the high quality plan.
Yep, I'm good with it.
Like, if we could lure the orc guy into the cave, we won't have to deal with the wyvern, right?
Well, he seems to think it can't fight well in confined quarters. I'm guessing it can't fly in confined quarters. So
the wyvern would probably have no difficulty getting. I mean, getting into the cave. Once it's in there, it's going to have great difficulty moving around because it will not be able to fly.
Yeah.
It'll still have striking distance and such, but it won't have the option to like grab people and fly off and drop them. It'll still be a dangerous opponent, but you'll have an advantage over it.
I will be faster than it.
True. There's enough room in this cave, Destil, you got a good enough look, that Windy could probably fly from one point to another, but this wyvern would not be able to.
Okay.
Its wingspan is just too great.
Oh, that'd be even faster than it's screwed. It's got nothing.
I mean, except a poisonous tail, but, you know.
It does have the
I
poisonous
could have one of
tail.
those if I wanted. Right, you can make me a poisonous tail.
I don't know that I could actually manage the aerodynamics.
So what do you tell the half-orc when you meet up with him as the sun comes up?
I will say it since oh, shit. I don't speak Orcish. Well, buddy, I'll give you I'll give you help on your deception.
Okay.
Coaching.
Okay. So what does Red tell Adrex to say?
Tell him that knowing that we had people that could move quietly and unseen, we scouted ahead, found no sign of the creature, but found signs that he had been coming and going, and feel that we can lay a trap.
Got it.
And dress it up the way you would normally speak, so that he doesn't, don't just repeat what I said, obviously.
Adrex, go ahead and make a charisma deception check. Make it at advantage because you've been coached by the best.
Alright, not the best. Riot's not in this campaign.
Well, Red would be a bard if bards were allowed.
Nope. I'm going
Try that one
to.
again.
Let's.
2 blips.
Yeah.
That's what they're for.
I should just do 4.
Yeah, you should.
Ooh,
Yeah, just do 4.
Yeah, I'm just doing.
Well, so you're spending 6 on this roll? Because you spent 2 to re-roll.
Don't just keep
Well, it's
rolling.
auto success,
Yeah,
right?
just yeah. All my blips are now instantly gone.
All 6 are flushed on this one roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't want to flush 6 blips, you should roll better.
So you explain
Thanks,
to him
buddy.
that he seems impressed that you guys sent scouts ahead. He seems impressed at your ambition. And he tells you that when you tell him that you think you should go into his hideout and set an ambush, he also thinks that's a fantastic idea. And he insists that you take point. As in Adrex specifically. He's not putting his head into that cave first, in other words.
Let's go.
Me. All right. Yeah.
Okay. When you get back to the cave, there is no lantern lit, and there is no sign anybody else has been here. Go ahead and arrange yourselves how you want to be, including the wyvern and the half-orc. in this cave as you guys come in.
Where am I?
I might have deleted you.
There he is. No, he's hiding behind the die.
I'll have to try harder next time.
Dun, dun.
Red will be hiding behind this pillar.
Like
Is that
actually
hiding in
or
quotes?
quote unquote hiding?
Yes, actually hiding.
Okay.
Should I roll a stealth?
Roll initiative, actually.
Roll initiative to stealth.
I might have Birdie beat this time. I might. We'll see.
You do.
Oh, yeah. Finally.
Wait, hold on.
I don't
Yeah,
even
you
need to
do.
move myself. That's convenience.
Wendy, I'm sorry. Birdie, do you want to go first? Do you want Raazu to go first?
I mean, either's fine. I don't care.
I think I should go first because then I can get into a
How did-
position where I can stab people.
How did Adrex win this initiative order?
I rolled a
You
2.
rolled a 14. That's a high number.
I rolled a 9. So
Jeez, that's not supposed to happen.
Whatever, this guy's fucked once this guy's girlfriend Frosty shows up.
The wyvern has some difficulty squeezing its way into the cave. And the rider has to step off to lead the wyvern in. And he does. He takes up position right at the cave mouth with his back against the wall. Instructs the wyvern to wait over here. Kind of uncomfortably almost within striking distance of Adrex, just so we know.
Just FYI.
And he just puts
He
his
comes
back
up.
up against the wall in preparation. So, I mean, he's readying an action. Wyvern's readying an action. Adrex, what are you doing?
Adrex will ready in action.
Okay.
Once the Abishai creature starts attacking dude, Adrex is going to book it.
Better hope you're not fighting an Abishai at level 4.
To back.
Tabashi.
Tabashi.
So as soon as
All the same, yeah.
he gets attacked, you're going to book it. So you're going to dash
Yeah.
where? There's no light source in this cave at the moment, by the way. So
Shit.
Adrex is effectively blind unless you strike a torch.
Probably towards the cave entrance, because it's...
So run towards the light there.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a big old freaking wyvern in my way, though. This does not go according to plan.
Red, go ahead and make that. If you want to try to hide back there, go ahead and make that stealth check.
26.
26. Very easy. Lots of little nooks and crannies back in the corner of this cave to tuck yourself into. And you're pretty sure once the shit hits the fan that nobody's going to know where you are. Wendy.
I'm going to... Once the shit hits the fan, I'm gonna shoot this guy.
Okay. What about Raazu?
Give me just 1 second. Sorry, please bear with me.
Okay.
Birdie,
Mm-hmm.
mind if I take that torch from you?
The light torch. I don't care.
Yeah. All right.
The magic one, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can shoot in dim light, but I can't do anything with nothing.
All right, Raazu, do something or dodge.
I'm going to ready an action for when the Tabashi and the half orc engage. Raazu is going to hurk a javelin at the wyvern.
At the wyvern.
Yeah.
Bold move. And what about Birdie?
Birdie is going to ready in action to shoot an arrow at the orc as well.
On what trigger? When are you gonna fire this shot?
When everybody else attacks. Like when everybody else's reactions go off.
And then next, the shit hits the fan. You've never seen anything quite like this, but a huge orb of darkness just engulfs the entrance to the cave. Adrex, you cannot see the entrance anymore. All light streaming in is blocked off. You start to hear this orc and this wyvern crying out in pain. Adrex, from your position, you see this wyvern's neck gnashing out just outside the boundary of this darkness. It's a void filled with a cacophony of soft whispers and slurping noises.
Oh, God.
And wicked tentacles begin licking up out of the ground, grabbing at the orc and the wyvern. That triggers everybody's held action. Why don't we just go down in order? Adrex, you still gonna dash for the mouth of the cave?
Nope.
Well, you can't dash a different direction.
Okay.
Your choice.
Well,
At this juncture, your choice is to take your held action or don't.
Don't. Not
Good.
running. Nope.
Good choice. Red.
I didn't hold an action. I hit.
Oh, that's right. You hid. Windy.
I'm shooting at disadvantage. I miss.
Okay. So you just launch an arrow into this just nightmarish forest of tentacles. Raazu.
Raazu throws a javelin at disadvantage. Does a 12 hit? Probably not.
Are you attacking the wyvern or the right?
The wyvern. That's my declared. Okay.
Your javelin just I'm going to say that anything you fire into this horrible forest of tentacles isn't coming back out. By the way.
Okay.
Birdie.
I'm not gonna take my action.
You're
I'm
not.
just like, whoa.
Alright, I guess I'll just mark that javelin off forever then. Until I can get it replaced.
And sometimes, not often, but sometimes, you get to end a session exactly where you wanted to. We're going to call it there and pick it up on my friend the Tabashi's turn at the start of next week.
For what it's worth, Frick, when you said I would be a bard, actually he would either be a cleric or a warlock.
I would have totally been a bard.
A Yuan-ti cleric kind of terrifies me a little bit. Just knowing what their gods are like. So I know Destil knows what spell this was. I'm certain.
What? Everyone knows what spell this is.
Yeah, this is one of Terran's favorites.
Yeah, this is Terran's bread and butter over here.
I think this is... Well, because Terran started with Arms of Hadar. Did he ever actually graduate to Hunger of Hadar?
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised the spell isn't called Hunger of Terran. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm making the straw poll and I literally just typed Terran because we're... Okay, it's... I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, so... And somebody last week, when I posted this straw poll, they were like, Brick Road, you know that's not the actual straw poll website. What? It's a poll. Go vote in it. You'll have fun.
It's still a straw poll.
Yeah.
Straw poll isn't a brand.
Yeah.
I like this site better because it's not ugly, actually. But yeah, it's strawpoll.com and not strawpoll.me. But watch, it's going to turn out that this website installs malware on everybody's computer, and I'm just an asshole. That's what's gonna happen.
They're using your computer to mine Bitcoin.
Oh God, I hope not.
My graphics card is too weak to mine Bitcoin.
All right. I don't actually have to add up that much experience this week because
No one has this card.
we completed one encounter, but it's pretty easy for me to just add all that up for you.
Nobody has graphics cards anymore, McDohl. Bitcoin miners have them all.
Yeah, it's true. No. I rescued one from the Bitcoin slave mines.
So I went to a website.
It's running Final Fantasy 14 for me now.
I went to a website and like they had like one of those big you agree by entering, and like it said they were going to use my graphics card power to mine Bitcoin while it was on their website.
Oh,
And
fuck
I was like,
that.
nope, not going to that website. ever.
Blacklist the shit out of that.
I remember 10 years ago or so, people were using their like spare processing power thing to do like the protein folding.
SETI.
Yeah,
SETI and stuff like that.
Those were the days of humanitarian use of electricity. Let's give some blips out though. How about that? Some of you need blips. One of you just flushed 6 blips. Trying to.
Yeah, and this is me scouring everything I did this session.
So we give 1 blip for the most creative solution to a problem this session. Who used the proverbial noggin? Nobody? Nobody's got anything for creative?
I just blanked on what we did today.
I like gust of wind to blow the horn out of the orc's
That
hands.
was
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't
that's good.
succeed, but that's whenever do we award this for actually succeeding at things?
We give 1 blip for furthering the party's goals the most. Who gets the assist blip this week?
Red.
Yeah,
He's the one
Red.
who did this Tabashi thing.
Scouting.
I believe it's an Abishai.
Better hope it's not an Abishai.
Abishai.
Abishai is what?
Cat demon.
Abishai, yeah, the cat Abishai. It's
There-
Abishai.
I don't know how I
killed Riot.
flipped that in my head.
I bet your party might be able to take down 1 Abishai. The bottleneck for
Yeah, I
you guys
think
would
so.
be you don't have a way to deal magical damage,
Yeah.
really.
Abishai come in every single color and then cat.
Although I did like the use of the flame arrows against that ghost. That was good thinking.
Yeah.
1 blip for the badass. Who's a badass this week? It's not actually necessary to clean up this table, guys. It's a virtual table. It's just gonna delete it.
I'm pretty happy with Adrex going in there Aragorn style with the torch,
Yeah.
even if it didn't necessarily work. Like if
I
you
enjoyed
didn't
that as well. Actually, now that I remember it, that was extremely good. My favorite part was him being very clear to say that he lit 2 torches.
My favorite part was he didn't catch the bow I threw to him. He just let it fall on the ground.
And we give 1 blip for intangibles.
Well, to the Mokden, up until before the session, Raazu was intangible, but now she isn't.
Like literally.
That's the anti-intangible blip.
I was just making a dumb joke. You don't.
You're gonna make us taking blips away from you. I don't want to do that, man.
So who is taking it then?
I really like that. Just kicked Adrex's shin.
What?
I really like that Birdie just kicked Adrex in the shin.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know what? No, I'll give it to Birdie for going blind, for not just immediately
Oh yeah,
wasting the color
absolutely
spray.
not spending casting the spell. No, that was needed to get saved.
And then expending it on the 1 orc. All right, so
That was pretty good.
My favorite part about that was that I got Adrex hit.
yeah,
That was a light sword.
the orcs just made Adrex the. I considered splitting the attacks up, but you're so small
No.
compared to Adrex. That
Adrex would have
It
needed to
really
carry his
is.
torch no matter what.
That's becoming a thing now, and sure, why not?
hey man,
I'll
you,
just go
you
into
rolled a
full-
fighter. That's your job, is to get hit a lot. Yeah, get used to that. Who wants to make a case for their traits, role-playing traits for this session?
Give me a minute.
Okay.
I've got mine. I was writing them down during the session.
Red, go ahead.
All right, so Red's alignment is neutral good. Survival requires the greatest good for the greatest number. So once he found out what was actually going on with the food rationing, he pretty much just went back to the guy and said, "Hey, look, dude, this is the way the village works. This is the way you have to work to run a civilized society. Sorry I couldn't do any good for you."
You know what I'm reminded of when you not in that scene, but later when you're talking about can we save more than one Moakton per year if we do something different from the Apple Boiler? Like, just the math of it reminded me of an old sci-fi short story I read called The Cold Equation.
We've actually been watching a lot of Star Trek recently, so I was thinking a lot of with that, which by the way is hitting my ideal, which is cold hard logic. Will not suffer to argue with those who are motivated by something as fleeting as emotion. For the entire discussion he brought up before, with basically who to side with on this whole Moakton thing.
Yep.
And then finally, the flaw, just slitting the orc's throat. My flaw is it's often best to do what needs to be done. Explaining it to the others will just be a waste of time.
Very good. For the record, that orc didn't know that the Wyvern Rider wanted to make a deal with you guys, so he was probably dead no matter what you did.
Yeah.
Who else has some role-playing traits for me?
Birdie, he immediately latched on to the idea of getting the shiny silver wand for potential.
What trait are we looking at here?
He wants to try and get it for his dragon
for your
lord
aspect.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, for the aspect, and then to kind of facilitate that, and also to make the group stronger, because the more we know, the better. So to facilitate that, he drank a potion and went blind. So he did that for the advancement of the group.
So you think drinking that potion was a lawful neutral action?
Well, I mean, yes, because... Well, I was going to use ideals for that, but you could probably argue that because I asked first.
Well, your ideal is willingness to share freely with tribe members, even when they have nothing.
No, that's
to
my.
give. I've got that down as your ideal.
That's my personality trait.
What's your ideal?
Everything for the advancement of the tribe.
Well, see, I've got that for your alignment.
Okay, then I've got something. Then we got something. It's fine.
Okay, I'll
work this out
on my end.
I probably messed up somewhere. That's probably my fault.
That's pretty true because I don't mess up. I'm not admitting blame here. My goodness, why would I do that at my own table? Come on. Okay, so we'll give you the one for the ideal, and then I'll get you.
We could also just use it for bonds. Like focus on the little thing, make the tribe stronger any way I can. Like I said,
Who else has some personality blips for me?
I got stuff.
Uh-oh.
Monastic tradition redirection. Use the forces that already exist to create your desired outcome. Okay. As soon as I found out that there was this guy who was out there slaughtering orcs, I thought we should go get that guy to do our orc slaughtering.
You guys do love slaughtering orcs. What else?
Learning new things is never wasted. The first thing I did when we went back to the village was go talk to the village chief and try to get him to give us as much info as he had, even stuff that he didn't know he was giving us.
Mm-hmm.
And bonds. Our place in the world is to take apart what isn't working and make something that is. That's essentially what I feel like is our goal here. We are doing exactly that by trying to make a better deal between the Snake Men and the Moakton, and also to fix the Moakton's horrible village situation.
Okay.
Also kill a lot of orcs.
I'll also kill a lot of orcs, but I mean that's just for funsies.
All right. Do you have anything for Raazu or Adrex?
Raazu has her ideal: a blade can end a life, fear can end an empire. She tried, but it didn't work. But I mean, that was definitely acting within her outlook.
Tried on who? What are we talking about here?
The orc.
Oh,
the last orc.
Oh, but, yeah. No,
but other dorks just getting in her, up in her way.
Yeah, no. At that point, Adrex had decided to kill him anyway, and he was just gonna spit in your face. I mean, you did get spit on. You might have to swing by the clinic after the session. Bloody orc spit. Ugh. What else you got for me?
Well,
that's all I got.
What does Adrex have for me?
All right, make my case.
Okay.
Aspect, signature style, energetic. I mean, come on, dual-wielding torches.
That's pretty good.
You got that one.
I don't mind that at all.
Especially because he did take damage.
Yes. You reach into a burning bonfire, you're going to take some damage.
His ideal, it is my responsibility to bring out the good in people. That orcish wyvern rider, really evil guy, but he thought there was some good in him. Because it also relates to his bond, but I'll get to that in a second. Despite the fact that he was very menacing, very threatening, and the fact that he did throw Windy to the ground and almost killed her, he was willing to negotiate and beat the voice and say, like, this guy's not bad. Give him a chance.
No, this guy is very bad.
I mean, it's interesting that Adrex saw it that way. That's a very Andy Dwyer way to look at the situation. What else do you got for me?
And related to that situation is Bond. My cool friends and I are working to place. I need to make sure they don't get carried away. That was going to break out into a fight if Adrex did not stop Raazu.
Probably.
So,
Question: does this situation we're looking at here, does this count as getting carried away?
a little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Not on us. This one's not on us. This is a freebie.
Like, I was genuinely thinking, like, Adrex's first question was going to be, dude, bit much, don't you think? But it's neither here nor there.
Got anything else for me? Or do we go to the straw poll?
He's struggling with his alignment belief because he is presented with a situation where the two outcomes are bad in terms of, all right, clearly whoever's behind this sacrifice a child and get magic apples nonsense, that's really twisted. But then the other aspect is well, then we leave them to fend for themselves. That's also really twisted. Why can't she just be good? Why can't it just be like, here, every year have the apples for free?
Oh, come on. I'm
But
not
I don't
the
think that's a...
who would force you into a moral quandary, am I?
So, no blip for that, but he's struggling with that.
Okay. Looks like Birdie is taking our straw poll tonight.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Being the
Counter
party
SK,
magic item helps.
Yeah.
We literally carried him on our backs.
Literally. 220 XP for the Ghost Werewolf. I rolled the random encounter table. It rolled a werewolf. I was like, that's boring as shit. Let's make it a ghost. So I did. And I'm glad I did. That was interesting.
How much EXP did the ghost template get us?
Did the what?
Ghost werewolf.
200 for slaughtering orcs out in the field.
How much for the ghost werewolf again?
220. If you take them as experience, blips right now are worth 126.
All right, Raazu spent no blips this week, so
Raazu's taking 1 blip this week for her ideal. Windy is taking 4, ideal, bond, aspect, and the creative blip. Adrex is taking 4, ideal, bond, aspect, and badass. Birdie is taking 4 for ideal, aspects, intangibles, and the straw poll. And Red is also taking 4, alignment, ideal, flaw, and the assists.
How many blips is all the rampant racism that we had going?
Oh, I'm not awarding any blips for racism. I'm not a monster.
Okay. Well, I mean, kind of, yeah. But
Brickroad, let's be real. You are kind of a monster.
It's not really racism. It's speciesism. So you can look at it that way.
Did you see that Pathfinder 2 changed the word for race?
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that this exact conversation would no longer happen. I think it's one of the smartest things that anyone's done, and I literally stared at it for a second. I was like, how did nobody think to do this until now?
What do they use the word species?
Ancestry.
Ancestry?
So we're ancestry. See, no, that just doesn't roll off the tongue.
Oh, see, no, I'm sticking with race because we're just all going to be racists in this campaign forever. Especially when I start introducing humans, which is just the worst.
That's not fair. Humans have done literally all of the bad things in history.
That's true. He's got you there.
Dinosaurs did some of the bad stuff.
How much are blips worth? 120, you said?
Dinosaurs never invented the gun.
Right now.
Yeah.
Any blips you have over... You can only carry 6. Anyone you have over 6 automatically roll into XP. And then next week we'll pick up this awesome encounter, which is off to a pretty good start, I would say. Oh, I see McDohl posted my forest clearing.
Before you close this, by the way, I just want to point out, because we've been talking about it during his blip rundown, that he didn't burn himself in the fire. He burned himself in the fire and then thought about it for a moment and then put both hands in the fire.
Alright, I did finally, at long last, finish uploading the Flumpscape video. So tonight I'll be uploading our Session 0 for this campaign. And then trying to do 2 sessions a week on that YouTube channel until we're all the way caught up. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah. You have no idea how long it takes to render these videos. It takes...
Oh no, Brick Road, remember, I also... Yeah. It takes like... For a 15-minute video, it takes like 30 minutes. Oh.
I agree.
Well, there we go.
Alright, I'll see everybody next Sunday. Thanks so much for playing and watching, guys.
Later.